Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel, the channel for coaches, would-be coaches, corporate trainers, content creators, and service providers. Today, I would like us to discuss, you've lost your job, what next? What made me think of doing this video is what is going on in my country right about now. There's a lot of loss of jobs and people are getting fired every day, getting laid off every day. And what necessitates this is because the industries are changing, the way of doing business is changing, technology is changing the way we do things. So it's not only in my country that is happening, it's happening all over the world. So technology comes, makes work easier, makes it efficient and effective. So that means in one way or another, some people are going to get laid off. So you've lost your job, either you've been fired, you've been let go because maybe you compromised the company's policy or something happened and the management had to let you go. You could also lose your job by being laid off or let go since the company might not be performing very well or the economy of the country might not allow for you to continue working there. You can also lose your job if you are edged off. Workplace has a lot of politics. And so sometimes you don't do anything, you didn't do anything wrong, you didn't get late, you didn't do anything wrong, but people just edge you off for their own interests. Fact is, you've lost your job. Another way you could lose your job is if you resign from your job in a half. You didn't think about it, you didn't plan, you just thought I need to let go, and then you discover I don't have another job and I don't know what to do. So you don't have a job and you don't have a plan. So you've actually lost your job. For the people in business like myself, you could lose your job if your clients fire you. They stop coming to your business and they stop buying from you. So that means you close your doors and go home, and that gets you fired. So you find yourself in such a situation, or you can see from how things are going, you might lose your job very, very soon. When you find yourself in that situation, what do? I want to admit that I've dealt with a lot of people that have lost their jobs. I have friends, I have relatives, I have people who have lost their jobs. And this gives you all these sorts of emotions. You could have anger, you could be confused, you don't know what to do. You could be upset, you could get so stressed out and pressured. Losing a job, your source of income, doesn't get you to a very good place. And so, if you've lost your job, where now do you start? The first thing I recommend for you to do is to sit down and do an audit, a quick audit. Before you start looking for another job, do a quick audit. Where am I emotionally? Am I in a status that I can be able to get myself another job? Do I have enough money to take me to the next level? Do I go back and look for a job in another place? Do I actually want to be employed in another place? In fact, does it mean that nature is telling me that I should now readjust and join another industry? You need a quiet moment to audit. What is it that has just happened to you? And what next? So you need a quiet moment. Don't just quickly jump from that job to another job, or from that job to stress, or from that job to a business. Take time off. There are those of us who are in jobs that we didn't actually like. Don't rush to look for another job that you now do not like again. It's an opportunity. And guys, I am not judging anybody, and I'm not celebrating that you've lost a job. In fact, it's the pain that I've seen people go through that has made me think about doing this video. So I actually know what you're feeling. It doesn't feel good, doesn't feel pretty, or we have to talk about it because it's a fact. And mine is to help you go to the next level. And number 2, getting employed. So the next thing you should do is go look for a job. I've seen people lose jobs, get fired or resign, and then they get confused, they get depressed, they get to this circus of just sitting and doing nothing. They don't look for jobs. They don't ask. They don't move. They sit. They watch TV all day. They drink alcohol and hang out with friends. And, that really wastes a lot of your time. So point number 2 would be, go get a job. And some of the reasons why people don't go getting a job is because you feel too, you're embarrassed to go knocking on doors. Or you feel, I'm experienced, I have these many years of experience, I'm an expert, they will come look for me. My friend and my brother, we don't have that luxury of time, because the more you stay away, the more technology bypasses you, the more experience bypasses you, and the more many things change in your absence. So I would say, if you find yourself without a job, you've lost a job for one reason or the other, we discussed the reason as to how you could lose a job, go knock on doors. Do not be embarrassed to knock on doors. I always say, ask and you shall get. Go knock on doors. The answer could be yes or no. And if already you've told yourself, if I go and knock on this door and get a yes, I'll be thankful and I'll take that job. But again, if I knock and I get a no, it is fine. I'll pick my pieces and try knock at another door. But we are so, as human beings, we are so, you're so afraid of knocking at a door and you're turned away. We don't take rejection very kindly. And on my YouTube channel, there's a video I've done, how to overcome self-doubt, rejection, fear, and all those things. We as a human being, you are afraid of being told we don't have a job for you or you are not enough for us. So I would tell you, be tough-minded. Have the toughness of mind to know that the answer could be yes or no. So if you've recently lost a job, you have friends, email them with your CV. And don't just email them a bad-looking CV. Go out there, get a person who can write for you a proper CV for the industry today. Email your CV to your uncle who is at a good place. Email your CV to your friends. I would like to tell you that part of my business comes from people who knew me, my ex-colleagues, people I worked with before. I found a lot of business from my friends and my relatives. Do not underrate them and do not feel embarrassed to go and ask for a job. You're out of a job, that's the fact on the table, and the more time you waste, the more depressed you become and the more confused you become. So it's my wish and my prayer that if you're out of a job, quickly drop your big fat ego, go look for a job. Go knock on the doors, write emails, check out who is offering jobs and apply for those jobs. Take a new photo if they require a photo, give the experience, go back to the person who had employed you. If you're in good terms, ask them for a recommendation letter and go look for a job. Point number 3, start a business. So you probably do not want to you don't want to go back to employment, you don't want the hassle of looking for another new job, and you have a skill. I have always told you people that running a business is not an easy thing. It's not a walk in the park. But it's something that you can do. If you have a skill that this skill, I can package it and turn it into a service or a product that I can exchange for money. Use that skill, package that which you know, and sell it. And that is where we come in as business coaches. I help you package your 20 years experience, your 10 years experience, package that thing that you know how to do. I worked for the corporate world and we did very good training sessions. The company was very good paying, they pay our training sessions. And when I left the corporate world, I realized that those things that I knew and thought they were normal to everybody, they were not. And so I found a gap in the market. I found a gap in customer service training. A lot of companies were running, just haphazardly without policies. They didn't know how to treat customers. But where I was working, that was a no-brainer. Everybody would do it. So I found that small thing that I knew from the corporate world could make me a living out here. So what is that thing that you know? and you think other people do not know, that you can trade for money. Come, we help you package it into a product or a service, and then you sell it. So you can actually start a business. The only thing you need to know is that business is not easy, and business needs a tough-minded person. Number 4. So you've lost your job, you are living a good quality of life, or whatever it was. I want to say, adjust your lifestyle. If possible, scale down. The worst thing would be you continue pretending that you can afford that kind of life, then you get into depression. And I've seen that happen a lot. And I'm not judging. And these things happen even to us who are in businesses. There is the season in our business that we are able to get a lot of work and make a lot of money. Once in a while, when the economy is not allowing, we have to scale down. We scale down on hiring, we scale down on some things. You scale down on spending, you scale down. You could actually scale down on moving to a smaller building. If the money does not allow, move to a smaller building, scale down on a lot of things. If you are used to spending a lot of money on a Friday and a Saturday on the weekend, scale that down so that you don't miss on the basics of life. You don't miss on food and rent, because imagine if you miss on food and shelter, that depresses you. But if you miss on pleasure and those things that are just superfluous, it's all right, you can live. You will build yourself with time, and you can go back to that kind of life that you used to live. This is what makes people not scale down. The human ego, the pride. You want people to take you, nobody will know that this happened to me. I don't want them to judge me and say, look, they lost their job. So you have that big ego that makes you suffer. I would say, be mature about it. Talk to your spouse. Be realistic about it. Go and tell your spouse, my dear, I've lost my job. This means we have to survive on your salary or your business revenues. And so what do we need to do? Where do we need to adjust? What do we need to do? Do you need now to go and work from home? Carve out a little space in your house and make it your office? And it's not a bad thing. That happens all the time. I have a friend of mine who runs a business, and I totally admire her. Every time there's an economy meltdown, she will even sell her car. She has no attachment to things. She will quickly sell her car, find money for running her business, jump into a matatu, public transport, and when things are good, she'll buy another car. But we have this habit of, you want to maintain your big car. You would rather suffer in your big car than be realistic and mature about it. And I feel that pain for you and for the people I've coached. I would say, do whatever it takes. However, scaling down and trying to adjust is not being cheap. It's being wise, and wisdom is a great thing for life. And lastly, while you are still at work, try and join groups that are helpful to you. However, if you find yourself without a job, and you've just lost your job, you haven't found another job, if you can, join groups that are helpful to your mental health. Your mental health is everything. You need to remain sober, you need to remain stable to be in a position to get another job or to start a new business. So have people who can keep you sane. I have mastermind groups that keep me sane in times of difficulties. I have people who tell me, now that you're going through this in your life, do you realize that revenues are going to go down, and how is that going to affect you directly? What are you planning to do about that? Don't just be in groups that are just for social events. Be in groups that can help you when you are in trouble. Not just by probably supporting you, but supporting you keep your mental health. Keep you sane. That's the most important thing you can do to yourself, so that you can slowly look for a job that makes you happy and a job that is able to help you pay your bills. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.